Nisargadatta Maharaj, Nothing is Everything. December 17th, 1979. All individuals are imaginary. Maharaj, there is no life without the five elements. All the so-called individuals owe their existence to the five elements. All objects are made of two or more of the five elements. Only when the elements come together to form sattva or food essence, there is the sense of being or the Atma, self. Although all living forms are time-bound, some forms like that of Markandeya have very long life. In nature and consciousness, there is no law and order. Man desires order but has no control over nature. Hence he assumes law and order in nature. The five elements, three qualities, Prakriti and Purusha, all these are formless. All forms made of these 10 have imaginary existence. I am getting my taste I am. It was not there 100 years back, but now it is there. My first job is to find out the why and how of this taste. Maharaj is explaining that the total manifestation on this earth is due to the five elements, the gross ones, which are space, air, fire, water and earth. All the forms, both sentient and insentient, are a product of these five elements only. The gross forms are due to the five elements, and the individuals have to, or the gross part of the individuals is made out of the five elements. Only when elements come together in such a way that the Sattva-guna Visishta material or food essence called Chidabhasa is formed, then a sense of being is experienced in the sentient ones, and the same is called as the Atman or self. When the individual or the food body takes food, it is converted into three parts after digestion, and the heavy part is excreted, the middle part is distributed all over, and the subtle part, which is made of Panchikruta Mahabhutas, is converted into Apanchikruta, and the same is taken and deposited on the subtle Antakarana, and that food layer, which is in the form of a very fine powder, gets deposited on Antakarana, and this layer is called as Chidabhasa. That because it is subtle material, and that too predominantly having Sattva guna, this is capable of reciprocating to Chaitanya and can say I am. Thus, a principle of I am called the self is formed in the Upadhi, and this is called as a transactional Atman of the Upadhi. Through this, all transactions to and fro to the Antakarana take place in this Upadhi or limiting agent. All life forms on this planet are time-bound. Some may live for a very short time, some may live longer. This time period is varying depending on the structure and the way they are made. But all of them are time-bound. But some have got a longer life, like that of Markandeya, who is a character in the mythology. Man expects a certain order in the nature, but nature as such has no law and order in it. The way it combines to decide the type of manifestation is not in anybody's control, and it happens spontaneously. The nature has no desire to create so and so of so and so. All this happens spontaneously. So man assumes law and order in nature, but strictly speaking, the nature believes in spontaneity rather than any fixed law and order. So the five elements, the five gross elements, what is called as and the three qualities. Each element has got three qualities: sattva, rajas and tamas. So the five elements, three qualities: prakriti and purusha. Prakriti is the yam principle or the mahattattva, the first expression of the absolute, and the purusha is the chaitanya, which is the one which is enlivening that mahattattva, the I principle. All these are formless. All forms made of these 10 have imaginary existence. The elements also are formless, but they appear to have form to the eyes of the individuals, and all individuals appear to have forms. It is a form which is nothing but an expression of the primordial matter in manifestation when it comes down through apanchikruta and panchikruta and appears as grassified, then forms do appear. It is only appearance because the principle is appearing as if grassified. There is no reality to that. The forms are there for the purpose of contacting the world in the gross sense. Maharaj is explaining that I am getting my taste I am. Your sense of I am comes because of the Chidabhasa principle. That is the place where the sense of I am is there. It was not there 100 years back, Maharaj says, yes. When 100 years back, his body was not existing, so the sattva guna visishta material has not come and deposited, so sense of I am was not there. But now it is there because the body is there. My first job is to find out the why and how of this taste. So Maharaj wants to know why this I am principle is experienced and how it is experienced. So that is his desire. Unless that I am principle is located and it is experienced directly, the other obstructions which are dominating will give a wrong information about your existence. Maharaj, in this search for the truth, I found out that my I had no existence. I found out that this I was not individual but the universal I. The real I was of the entire existence without any individuality. With this finding, my search ended there. What existed was not I but Brahman. You feel that your existence is important, hence everything is important to you. If your existence loses its importance, nothing has any importance to you. Maharaj is explaining that he started looking for this principle of I am, where from it is sprouting. Then in this search he found that the I, what he is experiencing, has no real existence. It is a false existence. He found that that I which he was experiencing was not individual, but the universal I. What he means is the principle Chidabhasa, which is a food material deposited in Antakarana, can say I am only in the presence of Chaitanya. So this principle is available in all sentient beings, and all sentient beings say I am. And all of them eat food, and if they have the capacity to receive this, and all their physical bodies are structured in such a way in all the sentient principles, and they all are capable of generating Chidabhasa, and deposit that Chidabhasa gets deposited on Antakarana, and they say it says I am. So this I am principle is available in the totality of sentimental beings existing on earth. So this I am is not a individual principle, but it is a universal principle. Because one says I am and experiences its existence. Once I am comes, the existence is experience. So it is not I am which was only in you. That I, the Chaitanya principle's expression, enlivens the material yam and creates a sensation yam. Hence, I am is that the I part is the Chaitanya part, and because of Chaitanya only, Chaitanya means awareness. Because of the awareness coming from the Brahman, each sentient being is experiencing its existence. So the principle of I, or the Chaitanya or awareness, is available to the entire existence, because it is absolute radiation of awareness is spread all over the Mahatattva, and the totality of Mahatattva receives the awareness. It receives in such a way that even though it is infinite, the awareness is same at any place in the totality of the Mahatattva. So the principle I has no individuality. The material has no individuality. The principle of I am generated has no sense of individuality. It is the universal I. Once this is realized, Maharaj says that is search ended. Now it is very clear that the I is nothing but the absolute expression, that is awareness. But that principle of I am available in your upati gives you a sense of existence, and you feel existent because of that, and that is important to you. For any reason, you lose your sense of existence, like in Sushupti, that is deep sleep every day, then you are unhappy about it once you wake up, but still you know that you existed in deep sleep also by extrapolation. You know you are, and you want to exist always. You want company of your body indefinitely, but it is a food body which has aging and time limit. How can it remain healthy forever? Every human being appears to be made of two ends. The first is an assumed end, the beginning of I am. The second is the active end, which works for the sustenance of the first end. Without the first, the second has no meaning. The second depends upon the first and sustains it. The second works as long as the first is. So your desire to continue your existence is through the company of the body. As long as the body is there, your principle of I am continues to exist, because the principle of I am is nothing but a food principle, and the body should be there to receive food and then create that subtle layer called Chidabhasa. The Chidabhasa layer gets constantly expanded, and without food the body cannot function, because the energy required for the body cannot be there, and also the food layer needs replenishment, because thought consumes or expends it. Hence, the food layer also needs replenishment on a daily basis. When the food layer is completely removed, the sense of I am disappears, and also the body is not functional any longer due to aging and time limit, and the failure of the organs, then it cannot function any longer and will perish. So the first principle that appeared is the principle of I am, and the next exercise by the individual is to struggle and get food and feed to the body and survive. So with that principle, he sees that the principle of I am is retained. So all this exercise to retain comes because the first principle I am has appeared. As all individuals are imaginary, it is wrong to criticize the family affairs of anybody. In reality, it is the affair of the entire, the absolute Brahman. The astral body occupies the whole of existence. Although we restrict ourselves to the body, that is not our actual experience. We always experience everything around us, in which our body also exists. This applies to the waking as well as the dream states. That is why it appears as if we are trying to force ourselves to be bodies against our actual experience, which is otherwise. It is not an individual who experiences the entire, but it is the entire, the manifest, that experiences the entire. Every being is not separate, but it is always with the group of 5 elements, 3 gunas, Prakriti and Purusha. Now Maharaj is explaining that so and so individual with so and so body, which is specific in nature, is an imaginary thing. There is nothing called an individual. It should be clearly understood that a body-mind is a combination of the 5 elements and its gunas and Prakriti and Purusha, and as such, it is a universal phenomena and there is no specific thing as an individual. So it is wrong to criticize the individual and or its affairs and its family, etc. Whatever is there is the totality. Once the manifestation appears as a 3-body principle, it is the expression of the absolute, and the absolute alone has manifested as this upati. The subtle body occupies that is the Hiranyagarbha Tattva, is there in the totality of the existence. As the gross body is there, which is nothing but the expression of the Virat, that is the cosmic gross universe, and the Lord of the cosmic gross universe is called the Virat. Similarly, the cosmic subtle universe is there, and its lord is called the Hiranyagarbha, and both of them exist, as well as the cosmic causal body or the cosmic causal universe, and its lord is called the Ishvara. So all these three exist, or say they coexist. Ishvara alone appears through manifestation as Hiranyagarbha, and Hiranyagarbha alone appears as Virat through manifestation. So the totality is only one expression, but because it is expressed in different places, it is called as by three different names. So in your experience, you are the one who is experiencing the world, and in the world experience, you are experiencing your body also. So you should be clear that you are experiencing the body also, and you are also experiencing your mind also. Once this is very clear to you, you should be understand that you are neither the world, and if you accept that you are not the world, you are not the body as well as the mind, because these two principles are also experienced by you. Then you understand that even you are not this body and mind, you are that universal principle of I am. Because that I am also is constantly expressing itself in this upadhi, and you are the I am principle. But outside the realm of this I am, of the Chidabhasa, the original I am principle, which is immanent, which is the expression of the Absolute as Mahatattva, the cosmic causal body, is that immanent principle is available in this upadhi as a three-body, that is your three-body principle. But that is the one which has initially entered, manifested as the three-body principle, or enlivened it, and is running the show of this three-body principle. The I am principle of Chidabhasa is available only in the waking and dream states, and it helps in the transaction of thought. Whereas the original I am principle is the manifesting principle, it is the creative matrix of the totality of the universe, and that is enlivening this upadhi in all the three states. Even though Chidabhasa is not functional during the Sushupti, because it has become defunct, the Atman, the original I am principle, comes into activity during that period and enlivens the upadhi. So the higher I am principle is eternally there, whereas the lower I am principle of Chidabhasa is available only in waking and dream states. So your idea that you are an individual is a total confusion because of the ego. The ego means I am the body. I am the body, in that the principle of I am, which is an existence principle, has appeared as a thought, because it is required as a thought for coordinating the various senses. So I am the body is a concept created by the Atman itself to as a coordinator in this upadhi. But that coordinator is confused and went and got stuck with the body and believed that it is a body only, and got crystallized as I am only this body, and that is what is called as an individual. So when the individual is formed, he has created around himself a mind to protect itself from the world and to continue its existence forever. So that I and mind put together is called as a person. So I am only the body plus mind results in what is called as a person, who is the lowest expression of the principle of I am. That is very, very limited, insignificant expression. The original principle I am is the totality of universal manifesting principle, and that is the one which is your real nature. So you believe that you are the body, but in actual experience your real nature is I am. It is the I am principle which is using this upadhi to experience the world. So the body is, three body principle is an expression of the five elements with their gunas, both in the gross and subtle form, and enlivened by Prakriti and Purusha, and this experience is the same in the which is there in the world. So the I am principle is experiencing the I am principle in the world through this upadhi, through this method of manifestation. The reason is the I am principle cannot come directly in contact with the gross world, because the gross world cannot reflect Chaitanya, and hence its existence is not known. Because the I am principle cannot come directly in contact with the world, because it is made of Panchikruta Mahabhutas. So this method of manifestation as a gross and a subtle realm is done by Atman, so that the gross realm comes in contact with the gross realm of the universe, and the subtle realm knows the information and can experience it and express it. The gross realm is only a converter which receives information from the world and passes on to the subtle realm, and whatever commands come from the subtle realm are executed by the gross body. Visitor. Is it possible to impart knowledge without words? Maharaj, the use of words is to help you to understand. Your ignorance is due to the words heard and read. My words are meant to wipe out those words. Some visitors make use of words to argue. Proper understanding leads to less and less words and more silence. So, visitor wants to find out whether there is a method of imparting this type of knowledge without words. This is what is explained in the scriptures, that Dakshinamurti has imparted the total knowledge without words. Maharaj says that the worldly knowledge is imparted to you right from your childhood through words only. So you have learned most of the information through words and some through reading. These two are the main. And it has created concepts, and you have kept all of them with you. Once this particular thing happened, you have developed and believed in what you have retained, and you follow what you have stored in your memory, and that is your world. So in the process of growing, you have created a lot of wrong concepts in your memory, and you are struggling to retain them and believing that they are the reality. So Maharaj says, what he is speaking is the highest reality, and how everything is happening. And these words are very strong, and they have the capacity to wipe out all the cobwebs in your mind, which have been there for too long a time. So with the wiping out of the cobwebs or the wrong concepts, you will come to a stage where no longer there is a need to think, and hence the number of words that are coming out will slow down and you will move to silence. But if you wrongly use this information, then you will get into the process of arguing. Visitor. How does meditation on knowledge, I am, help? Maharaj, other than your body and the sense of being, what is your capital in this world? Without asking anybody, what is your direct knowledge? You know you are in the world in which your body exists. You have no direct knowledge of God or Brahman. Your I am knowledge comes first and then the world. Hence your I am knowledge should get the first place in importance. You know that this I am knowledge was absent 100 years back. Now it is there. It is your first duty to find out the why and how of this I am appearance. Other things of lesser importance can be investigated later. Meditation I am is done to be free of words and thoughts. In this cigarette lighter, the flame is sustained by the burning gas. Similarly, your consciousness is sustained by digestion of the food you eat. We see the body eating, but the beneficiary is the light of consciousness or the light of knowledge I am. So Maharaj is explaining to a question whether the meditation on the knowledge I am help. The principle of I am is eternally existing. That is the starting point of the upati. At that time, the embryo is in the nascent stage, just it is formed. And there is nothing called word in this embryo. It has not come to the stage of talking. But without that, the I am principle has appeared, and that is the one which has manifested and running the show. Now, this body has appeared over a span of time, and its capabilities to perceive and express have flowered, and it is functioning. So in the functioning, expression in the form of words and in the form of thought are part of manifestation of the upati. The original I am principle is outside the realm of the three bodies, and it is eternally existing from the day of inception as an embryo, and it is there in this upati until death. So trying to locate that I am through thought or through words is the wrong approach. Because the higher principle you are trying to locate through a lower principle by using the functions of the lower principle. In manifestation, the lower principles are gross and higher principle is always subtle. So to know the subtle principle, the gross principle has to subdue itself. When it subdues, the higher principle automatically appears. As long as the gross principle is trying to express itself in some way or other, the subtler principles cannot be experienced, or their experience cannot be known. Because the principle of I am is the subtler principle of the Atman is eternally saying I am. So when the thought and the word subdue, the I am principle of Chidabhasa is first experienced, and when stabilization takes place there, the I am principle, it moves to the I am principle of the Atman, which is slightly subtler, more subtler than the gross principle of the I am of Chidabhasa. Because Chidabhasa's material is grosser, the material of the Atman is very subtle, or the subtlest material available in the totality of the universe, and hence the I am principle of the Atman is subtle. But I am as such is same, there is no difference. But the material is different. So Maharaj is explaining, your only capital is that I am, and you have got a direct knowledge of it, and that is the one which is to be experienced, because it is the godly principle available in you. and that is very first principle that has started this upadhi, and it is the most important principle, which was not there some time back, but now appeared and is running this upadhi. So now theoretically it has been explained to you how that has appeared, and that is eternally there in your upadhi, and all efforts should be made to know it. The method of knowing also is explained to you now, that by subduing your thought and the word, and you realize the I am principle. The reason for the chartering of the mind and continuous expression of this mind is that principle called the ego or ahankara, which wants to confirm its existence all the time by creating thought. So unless the concept of I am only this body is dissolved, the chartering will not stop, and unless the chartering stops, the thought will continue to be there. So to ensure that thought appears only when required in this upadhi, and otherwise the Chidabhasa remains calm and peaceful as an I am principle, the whole effort should be to eliminate the ego. Strictly speaking, ego cannot be eliminated because it is not a real entity, it is a false entity. The real entity is one which is part and parcel of manifestation. Like all the physical bodies and subtle bodies are part and parcel of manifestation, and the I am principle also is part and parcel of manifestation, and whole thing is enlivened by the absolute awareness. Whereas the I am only the body is a thought principle like any other information, but that information has become so strong, so powerful, that it behaves as if it is real and it is a real entity. So this is to be understood, and the ego has to be falsified, and the falsification of the ego will result in the become less and less chartering in the mind, and mind gets subdued. And once its thoughts are reduced, the Chidabhasa is able to say I am continuously, and that experience comes, and remaining things are automatic. So whole effort is not in trying to do say meditation and all that, to understand your ego and find out its ways and means, and all that it has got attached to, those attachments have to be mentally removed. There is no way of removing any attachment physically, because physically no attachment has taken place to anything, including the body. So it is only imaginary, all the attachments are imaginary. Imaginary attachments have to be severed by constant inquiry into the nature. Maharaj is explaining that in the cigarette lighter, the flame is sustained by the burning gas. Similarly, your consciousness is sustained by digestion of food you eat. So the principle of I am, which is appearing in the Chidabhasa, is constantly retained and replenished on a daily basis through food. And the food is essential for this body, and its capacity to take food and capacity to absorb it and distribute it, it keeps the food body running. Otherwise, the food body will start deteriorating and perish. So the ultimate principle which is benefited by the food is the consciousness or the I am principle of Chidabhasa. Visitor. After self-realization, what happens to the bondage? Maharaj, one sees it as illusory. He sees himself as a great sun illuminating all existence. Until then, one is wrapped up in concepts of one's own mind. All ignorance and bondage is due to the heard and read knowledge. be in the state prior to hearing anything. In the state prior to consciousness, there is no unhappiness and hence no need to happen. Your knowing is the seed of misery which gives rise to a world full of unhappiness. So the visitor was inquiring about the bondage. He wants to know what happens to the bondage he has with various things in the world after self-realization. Maharaj is explaining that the totality of bondage is only an imaginary illusion. As such, the one which you believe you are totally, which is the body, but is dropped when you go to sleep. You don't know how the body is and where the body is. You are not sure whether it is on the bed or underneath the bed. That is your situation, because you have no body consciousness at all. So that means you are not even that body in some states of your being. This is a daily experience. So when you are not able to hang on to the body for 24 hours in a day continuously, how can the other bondages, which you don't have even a physical contact or a momentary physical contact in a day, can be yours? The body with which you have maximum contact during the day is in the waking state. After that, you have no contact in the dream or deep sleep state at all. The thoughts which are continuously running the show in this body, the waking and dream state, are not at all available in deep sleep state because they are totally nullified in the deep sleep state. But still you are. So this shows that your real nature is something different from the body and mind. When you are not the body and mind, all that attachment you got through body and mind, how can it be real? This is totally illusory. But this is what is called, happens when in realization, and you no longer get mentally attached to anything. Not that the existence principle appearing in the world is not there. That be there. But your attachment of goes and I and mind principle gets dropped. I means I am only this body, and mind means all the mental attachments that I have created thinking that I am only the body. That is what is called as ignorance. Ignorance is I am only the body, and bondage is mind. These two get dropped. So your nature is to be, it is the principle of I am, and that is available even prior to the physical birth or the physical manifestation of the body, and all efforts should be made to experience that principle which is expressing all the time. That principle has never stopped expressing because it is outside, it is eternal. So its expression is there all the time, and the present noise in the mind has to be eliminated, and Chidabhasa Swayam has to be experienced, and from there the movement has to take place to the Atman Swayam. So all the knowledge that you have got in the world is through hearing and reading. So that all those cobwebs have to be eliminated, because knowledge is the seed of ignorance only. Whatever knowledge you have received in the world is nothing but ignorance, because that creates a false individuality in you, and it creates an idea of illusory world in you. Your knowledge is not helpful in realizing your real nature, because that is the stumbling block. Unless it is dropped in totality, you cannot move to the principle of I am, which is your real nature. With this, we conclude this topic.